Welcome back to Vail, Colorado, here at the Burton US Open of snowboarding. I am Louis Vito, and for those of you who are just joining us, I'm going to be the guy that's giving you the intimate look at behind the scenes at the top of the slopestyle today. As you can see behind me, riders are still continuing to practice, and I'm also going to be answering questions that Sal, Tina, or T-Bird may have for me. You know, we just finished an amazing women's semifinal. We saw Zoe Sinnott from New Zealand taking the win, and unfortunately the defending champion, Jamie Anderson, not able to crack into the finals. And now we're moving on to the men's semifinal. And you'll hear me say this over and over again. The US Open is known to bring the best riders from around the world. We have such a stacked field. We have defending champion Mark McMorris coming fresh off his X Games victory. We have Sevide Buck. We have everybody you can think of. Yuki Kadono's making an appearance as well. And if you thought the women's semifinal was great, just wait and see what the guys have in store. Practice is just now finishing up, and now we're about to begin the men's semifinal.
Okay.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and bros, to Vail, Colorado for the 2019 Burton US Open. You are looking at Slopestyle joy here at 8,000 feet. Sal Masekela here with you, joined by the one and only T-Bird, Tom Monterosso, former editor of Snowboard Magazine. The women set the standard for this course. They blessed it. We saw just a furious display of progressive snowboarding. Now for the men, they got to step their game up.
And I think they're going to. We're going to see the exact same thing. You know, we spent most of our lunch talking about how the women's semifinal looked like a final. I think that's exactly what you're going to see here today. I don't think you're going to see a lot of safety runs from some of the heavy hitters. You're going to see a lot of newcomers, a lot of names on this list I'm not super familiar with, but I'm really excited to see what they're going to put forward.
Exciting. Weather perfect this morning. It was blue skies, 37 degrees for the women. As you can see, still plenty of blue skies. Temperatures have come up just a bit to 43 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 Celsius. And the wind, which is always key, staying low. It was 7 miles an hour, only came up a mile to 8 miles an hour. And these guys are going to try to do their best to take advantage of that. Light will be a little bit more of an issue for the men.
I think so too. And you know, this morning in the women's, the sun was behind the entire course. So the takeoffs were in the sun, the landings were in the shade. It looks like we have a little bit of cloud cover here, so it might actually kind of even out the light in a weird way and make it even a little bit better for the guys.
Yeah. T-Bird, what we saw in the women's semifinal was just a furious display of progression, and that's really what this U.S. Open event has always been about. This is an event going back to '82 that defines the progression of what the sport feels and looks like, and when it comes to the U.S. Open, this slopestyle course is the star.
First impression of this course is awesome.
Burton US Open has always done a really good job at integrating new features.
Every year it's something new and something that will be in the next contest, so it's always exciting.
I think for sure having creative features in a course separates a lot of riders.
People have to change their way of riding, and you've seen that in the last few years, especially with transition features and transfers on rails.
We had a full half pipe in the middle of one of our contests a couple years ago, and now we have the quarter pipes that you have to hit.
This is basically the first time ever that they've had a side hit without a jump in front of it.
It's not a feature found in every park around the United States, so it really separates the men from the boys, or the women from the girls.
We were at X Games telling them, like, all right, if you guys are going to keep building these side hits, you guys need to make it mandatory because it's too hard for the judges to, like, focus on if you hit it straight over or not.
It's definitely a lot easier to go over a straight jump and able to spin a bigger trick. So comparing that to someone who hits the quarter pipe and does a little bit less of a spin was just something that was really tough for us to do.
it makes it so much more progressive, and there's so much more creativity, and now I feel like it'll be a level playing field.
And I'm really excited to see all the cool and all the new tricks that are going to happen.
The riders embracing the progress. That side hit, definitely a star as we take a look at our start list in the men's semifinals. 32 riders. We're going to see 64 runs, each rider getting 2 runs. And it's going to be a battle and a half. At the outset, we can say for sure this is Mark McMorris's event to lose. However, the other 31 competitors, as we see on course right now, Ming Su from China, they have something to say about that.
Yeah, those storylines are going to develop all afternoon. Right now, I'm looking at Chris Corning and Mark McMorris, the last 2 riders to drop. But look at this kid here, Ming Su, just throwing out a casual double.
Somehow lands deep in the back seat and is able to set up to go just as deep off of that side blaster.
Front side 7 on that transition feature into the backside 10. So really strong run from Ming Su. That was ridiculous. And it was pretty interesting in that little graphic package there, hearing Brock Crouch talk about how they were talking to the park builders and saying if you're going to put in one of these training hits, make it mandatory.
Right.
Because then there's no gray area of, well, he hit it straight over and that scored higher than hitting it from the side. That was the equalizer in the women's field this morning.
15-year-old Su Ming got it started strong here. Not as strong as he would have liked technically. But man, not afraid just to send it. I guess this is what happens when you're 15.
Yeah, I guess when you're 15 years old, you're not really feeling the pressure of some of those more established veterans who have podiumed here before. He's got nothing to lose, and you can see right there. Look at that backside 1080, stomped perfectly, and he knows it.
Unafraid to throw the claim. And his total score there to start, a 47.1. Judges definitely looking for him to clean it up a bit in and out of tricks, but a nice first run for him to start. We take a little glimpse of the tent of Choi up top.
Dropping in.
Next up from Korea, Min-Sik Lee.
Min-Sik Lee. Riding for Burton, regular footer, 18 years old.
What's it like, you think, for these kids, especially the young kids coming deep out of the international field, like, I'm at the US Open?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of wild, too, because then imagine if you were just some international kid who, basketball player or something. You got invited to the world's biggest competition. You're playing basketball alongside the likes of LeBron James, Kevin Durant. That's where these kids are at with guys like Mark McMorris, Stale Sandbeck. So it'd be interesting to hear from them at some point and just kind of ask them, like, hey, are you fanning out up there? Are you psyched to be strapping in next to, some of the best snowboarders in the world?
Of note, just like we had in the women's event, if a rider does fall on course, we do have the bonus hit. There's a little side pot for the best trick performed on the last hit on that bottom jib.
There's the 50-50 to front side lip slide. He even throws in a little nose grab for some flavor in there, and then board slide pretzel out. So a very technical rail section from Min-Sik Lee. There's the switch backside 12. And he just over-rotates it a little bit too much. And that's going to be a throwaway run from Min-Sik Lee. Another thing to note, Sal, only 2 runs in semifinals. So if you fail to put down a good score on your first run, your feet are officially to the fire, as they say for run 2.
Up next from Christchurch, New Zealand, Carlos Garcia Knight started snowboarding at 11 because he had been skating and never looked back as he hits this nice transfer section on this first rail section.
A 50-50 front lip 270 out, and then a nose slide pretzel, half cab on 50-50 backside 360 out. Carlos is one of the most exciting young snowboarders in the world. Unfortunately, not quite able to put it down on that first jump right there. But as you said, Sal, watch for that Burton bonus hit. Could go down at any moment.
Ooh.
That was nice. That might be a contender. Switch back 5 to end his first of 2 runs from Carlos Garcia Knight. Take a look at this rail section. 50-50, front side lip slide, 270 out. Transferring from rail to rail.
Option festival.
It really is.
It is. This whole rail section is just option fest.
Yeah, those little islands have up to 7 or 8 different options if you really think about what these riders can do on them per island. And that's before all the jumps. Another thing of note is that the scoring system here at the US Open is super cool in that every single feature is scored from 0 to 10. Rails, jumps, the transition to landing, kicker, all that stuff. Everything is scored equally, so gone are the days where you can just kind of get through the rails to then stack up all your points on the jumps. You have to ride everything to the best of your ability on any given day to win this event.
Great point. Carlos Garcia Knight's like, nah, I will step my game up in the second one. No pressure from his countrywoman, Zoe Sadowski-Sanat, qualifying first for the women. As Eric Boscheman drops in next.
Switch board slide to transfer 50 back 3. And then front blunt 270. He's going to hit that cannon feature. Board slide to underflip out from Eric Boscheman. Boscheman came to play today.
Ooh, did he ever?
1080. Now coming into that tranny feature. Little alley-oop back rodeo there. Now coming in switch. That's going to be the cab 1260 from Eric Boscheman.
I'm going to say that was a purposeful hand slide.
I think so. Switch board slide 50-50 back 3.
I do those all the time, though. That's the thing. I'm so surprised to see someone else does that trick. Sheesh, that was nuts.
And then front blunt 270. And then board slide 630 out. Very under flippy there. Ducking that rear shoulder into the front side 10.
Somewhere Kevin Jones is looking at that underflip out going, I started that. I started that almost 20 years ago.
And now we got kids just throwing them in slopestyle runs.
That cab double cork 12. That hand was probably more of a drag than a style touch.
So 38.8 on his trick score out of 60. Flow score coming in 24. It's a good score.
Yeah, new leader for the Boschman.
And it's important within the first few riders to get a score up in the 60s to kind of set that bar for everyone to know what they need to do to get above that.
Louis Vito, what you got up there, buddy?
What's up, you guys? I'm just chilling here in the riders' tent at the top of the slopestyle course. All the riders seem to be hanging out here. We're watching this TV where we can see the live feed of the runs going down. We got the computer screen to see the score breakdown, and as well as the final standings. So we'll go ahead and ride back into it. You know what I love about this slopestyle course is there's so many rail options to give the riders a chance to really stand out from everybody else. There's multiple jump features, so we're coming in right here to the Red Bull Rainbow Rail. And then we get into the jump feature right now. Ooh, cab double 1260 right there. Getting a good reaction from the riders here into that shark fin.
How? How though? That was nuts.
I love that with the Japan just trying to get that last 180 around. You know, that last feature, it is such a great way to run, to end your run, and he did it well with that pulling that Japan and just couldn't quite put it to his feet.
Louis, how much pressure are you under right there commentating from inside of the rider's tent?
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, snowboarding is getting so crazy these days, especially in slopestyle. If I call something wrong, I'm going to probably get hit in the back of the head by one of these riders. So there's this pressure, and plus I got you guys down there as well watching the feed. But it's great. I got a front row seat. I got the world's best riders around me and just watching some amazing snowboarding.
Nothing wrong with that.
That trick was beautiful.
Look at the way he carves into the side hit right here. Like, maybe we'll see the other angle.
There's that Japan.
Oh.
Just quite couldn't get that last 90-degree rotation, but smiles at the bottom, so I'm feeling like he's feeling confident going into that second run. The riding's just going to keep getting better and better.
Dave Retzlaff with a nice score. A little perspective from the tent of joy up top. It's pretty much a bro fest.
Oh, yeah.
Until it's time for you to go.
Yeah, they keep it pretty chill up there, I think, at all times.
Next up from Belgium, dangerous young man by the name of Seb de Buck.
Lethal. Yeah, Sebe is such a versatile snowboarder. Just as comfortable on rails as he is transition, as he is on jumps. The kid can do it all. So Sebe getting ready to drop in. He's a goofy footer, so he is coming in switch right now. And the combo transfers on these rail islands, it's going to become a challenge just to call them down here in the booth. They're just tongue-twisting tricks that these guys are doing.
Sleepy rail style.
Cab 270 on, 450 off. Sebe is putting one together right now. Coming into that equalizer feature. Double crippler. And it looks like he came up just a little bit short.
Remember what Anagasa said earlier today?
That's her dream trick on that.
Like, what trick would you want to do off of the side hit? She's like, she said absolutely. Double crippler, as you see. Sebe, despite the fall, still trying to make the case for the bonus hit cash. But look at how gorgeous he was up top here, man.
Yes, switch board slide there to backside lip slide. And then that right there is just a casual, classic killer trick. Just switch backside lip slide. And then cab 270 on, 450 off. There's so much airtime coming off that flat bar there. And here is the double crippler. I was actually just watching a little documentary on the history of snowboarding. Found out that Jeff Davis invented the crippler in the Utah backcountry.
I like the lawn dart from Sebe de Buck. Also, shout out to the glove game.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
Glove game's strong.
Every photographer down there is psyched on that.
Yeah, they're like, this guy gets it.
All right, and there's Frank Joban. This kid's definitely known as a very, very talented rail rider. A couple years ago, his big introduction into the snowboarding scene was at Bear Mountain's Hot Dogs and Handrails, where he ended up taking the win. That's a rail contest. And here he is now, strapping in next to the big boys at the Burton US Open. So double cork backside 10 into the front side alley-oop.
That Hot Dogs and Handrails event, a legendary.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
And deciding to pull up here on this last jump.
Yeah, it looked like that second to last feature there, he just landed a little funny, lost a lot of his speed. And judging by the size of that final jump, it does not seem like a jump where if you have any question that you're going to come up short, it doesn't seem like a jump you should hit. That knuckle is pretty nasty. So switch backside 270 on, 270 off from Frank Joban right there. And the double backside 1080, just so casual. It's wild how...
That's a setup trick.
It's wild how it's a setup trick and how easily they do them now. They look like backside sevens used to look.
Right.
And yeah, there's that front side 540 where he washed out, lost his speed. And he's going to toss that one out. and look toward his second run.
A lot of folks watching from all over the world. We had all sorts of people from Italy checking in earlier today. The big question that everyone's asking is whether or not Mark McMorris is going to three-peat this thing. We'll get into that later, but right now Luke Winkleman is on course.
Yeah, Luke is an incredible rail rider. Half cab, tail press, back three. And then board slide 450 out. So now coming in switch back 12. Very casual from Luke Winkleman. And the backside 720. Sending it deep, but stomping it clean. Front side 14 from Luke Winkleman. What a run.
Golf claps all around from the top. That run was really serious.
Yeah, Luke is one of those kids too that he was always kind of the token little guy at every event when he was a young kid on the come up, and he's really grown into his snowboarding now, and you can see that it's matured. Look at the press on that tail press on a round bar. That's one of those understated, very, very hard things to do in snowboarding. And then just a mellow board slide 450 out. You know, all in a day's work.
Super casual. The way he muscled around the last bit of this 1260.
Lightning fast. And here is the backside 7. What's cool about that feature too is now calling his run, you have a 12, a 720, and a 1440 that are all going to score really high. I think this is going to be a really good score for Luke Winkleman.
Yeah, look at that 8.6 for that front tail 14. And with the flow score, new leader. We have a new leader. And you saw that instant react as we cut to all the riders up top.
Yeah.
That's one great thing. Like, there's no hate amongst the field. Like, everyone in there was like, yes, you did that. You really did that, Luke.
That's right. They respect what each other can do on a snowboard as much as they are competitors.
And it speaks to what we discussed at the top of the show, the riders talking about progression. This is an event that's not just about you having your best run, but it is about collectively moving snowboarding forward.
Exactly. That's what it's always been about. All right, so here we got Sven Thorgren on course, the young Swedish rider. Switch board slide 630 out into the cab 12. Yeah, Sven is a very dangerous rider on a slopestyle course. Front side double cork off the equalizer right there, and that'll be it. Unfortunately, not able to put it down. A little stale fish off the knuckle there from Sven Thorgren. Sven recently coming off an injury, riding better than ever. Bounced back like nothing was ever wrong.
He holds guys like Nicholas Mueller to be like his influences, and you see that. You see that sort of cat-like ability in his riding as well.
Yeah, very responsive. He's very quick on his feet and light on his feet. As you see there from the switch board slide, 630 out. That used to be what the announcers in a video game, as you're,
yeah, that would be like
having your dude rip down the hill, what they'd call.
That'd be your banger trick.
Frontside 1080 double cork right there, landing a little hard on his heels. Not quite able to put it down, so Sven is going to look toward run 2.
Also a ripping skater.
Ripping skater.
He posts like little edits on his Instagram where you're like, dude, that's just your side hobby?
Yeah.
Up next should be the man out of Hood River, Oregon. This is Sean Fitzsimmons. Regular footer.
18 years old, 50-50 board slide transfer, pretzel out. Half cab on, front 3 off. So switching spinning directions mid-trick, and then a board slide underflip. Switch back 12. Into the backside 720. What's he got on this third and final jump? Sean Fitzsimmons, frontside double cork 1080 from the clouds. Sean Fitzsimmons, that was ridiculous.
Did you see like when he decided to put the landing gear down?
Like very last minute.
A half of a millisecond before. He's like, oh, I have to let go of my board now?
That was absolutely incredible from Sean Fitzsimmons. Really strong in the rail section too. Half cap 50-50, front 3 out. Super technical rail trick right there. And then board slide 450 out. Almost under flippy. And then switch back 12. Whipping that last 360 around.
I love how the back 7 off the side hit has kind of become the setup go-to.
Yeah. Back 7 mute.
Look at this.
He went double grab on it too. Looks like he got 2 grabs in there. Holding on to the landing. This is going to be a good score for Sean Fitzsimmons.
Doing it for the win zone. Hood River. Sean bumps up into 3rd. Next from Ancaster, Canada. A goofy footer. Yes.
I love how much you love goofy
Michael
footers.
Sicker. Listen.
It's awesome.
We are a small group.
It's true.
So whenever we're represented, it's hard to remain objective. Ooh! And I jinxed it.
Well, and that right there, it just goes to show that if you do a harder trick earlier on in the course and you do land, you're going to be rewarded for it. Because this, unfortunately, is going to have to be a throwaway run for Mikey Cicerelli. I mean, he's still going to use the rest of the run as kind of a practice run here, but throwing harder tricks earlier in your run has its risks. It can bite you, or it can really pay off. And unfortunately for Mikey Cicerelli, it bit him right there, but he'll be back for run 2.
And as you mentioned earlier, this is only 2 runs.
Exactly. And so now it's pressure.
You see riders being like, okay, well, I need to at least get some feel out of this run to take into me, with me into this last run.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's see what went wrong here. Switch 50-50 to cab 270 on. He landed a little heel heavy when he went sideways on that second rail. But the rest of his run was looking good. Frontside 1080 truck driver right there.
So just the waiting scores here for Mikey Cicerelli.
21.2 for Mikey Cicerelli.
He'll be looking to run number 2.
Well, run 2 is where all the magic happened in the women's semi.
That's true.
Let's not forget. Zoe Sadowski was in 8th place, out of the cut, and came back into 1st place.
Talk about one of the quintessential clutch US Open performances.
Yes, that was legendary. Yuri Okubo from Sapporo, Japan. Strap in, folks. This kid's not afraid to send.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Yuri's run. I've never seen a contest run from him in the past, so I'm pretty psyched to see what he's got. Half cab 50-50, backside 360 out. 50-50 back rodeo. Coming in switch here. Cab 1260. And going frontside 720 off the transitional feature. Third and final jump. Backside 1440, Yuri Okubo. Welcome to snowboarding.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Hey, I'm 18 years old. It's my first time at the US Open. I'm just going to go for it.
And that is exactly what he did. His rail section was insane too. 50-50 front lip pretzel. 50-50 back rodeo. And then the real fun begins. Casual cab 12 right there. And I like, you see off that transitional feature, It would have been easier, I think, for him to do a backside 7 from that angle as a goofy footer, but he kind of went hard way. He went front 7 off the rider's right side into a backside 1440, and I think if he could have put that down, I think you'd be looking at your new leader.
Yeah, you look at how well he represented on the rest of the course, and of course that hand drag going to affect the flow score, but he's definitely got some confidence to carry with him into the second run.
Yeah, if I'm Yuri Okubo, I'm heading back up being like, okay,
it's on.
Yeah, it's on. Let's get this done. I mean, even now he's sitting in 4th with a fall. That's how good that run was right there.
All right, buddy. Tell you, have some fun.
There you see leaderboard so far as we're halfway through our first runs. Winkleman in first as Stan Kleidvold from Norway, I believe, on course.
On course indeed. Front blunt 450 into the cab 270. Back to switch. Switch front side 1080. Into a switch back 9. It's now coming into that final jump regular. Front side 1260 from Stian Kleivdahl. Not the run he wanted, but it's got the bricks that make a pretty good foundation in it. Stian Kleivdahl coming out of Geilo, Norway. Board slide to board slide 270 out, and then front blunt 450 out. Cab 270 on, and that sets him up for the first jump feature. That is the transitional feature. Switch back 9. And then ending his run with a front side 12, but not quite able to get it all the way around. And that's not going to be enough for Stian Kleivdahl. I'm really looking forward to watching this next run.
Yeah, this next kid's kind of got a future.
He's got a pretty good name for himself.
He's kind of, there's some potential there.
Next up,
Silverthorne, Colorado. You know you made it already in snowboarding when you've got a nick. People just don't even call you by your full name.
Yeah,
it's just you're just Red.
You're just Red.
You just go from Reverend to Red. Red Gerard. I mean, you see the glimpse of into what his energy is, and this is a kid like anytime you see him, he's just fired up.
Look
on
at
the whole deal.
Look at how many riders got up and were standing in the start gate to watch drop in. That right there personifies Red Gerard. He's an explosive snowboarder, but he's one of the most likable dudes of all time. He's mellow, he's easygoing, and he's extremely talented. Board slide 450 out. I think that's going to be the switch back 12. He spins that so slow. Front side 10 off the transitional feature, rider's left side. And this is going to be the York 1440.
Get out of here.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Unreal. That was... That's a spark that'll light a fire.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable run from Red Gerard.
Wow.
Here's what I like. Here's what I love about calling Red's runs. It's that you never really see him do the same run from contest to contest. He is always switching it up. Even from run to run, he can switch it up.
How is that? Oh, wow.
The kid just has so many tricks in his bag.
This one got me right here. The side hit got me.
Front side 1080.
The way he fell out of that last half of it.
And
bolts.
It seems like for Red, going deep in the landing is the new norm for him. He's just gotten used to landing really deep all the time.
I think I broke my pen.
45 out of 60.
Yikes.
Trick score.
New leader, folks. We have a new leader.
Wow.
Young man with an old soul, like he's been here a long time snowboarding.
Unbelievable. What a showing from Red Gerard. Olympic gold medalist.
Keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling.
Wow. I'm physically worn out from that run. New leader shaking things up.
Whew. Yeah, we're just about halfway through the first runs here in Vail. And I'll say right now, as it stands, we're not even done with run one.
Right.
The men have entertained.
Yes, fully.
They got us to throw pens.
Yeah.
in the booth. We're throwing pens in here.
Louis Vito is down with Mr. Winkleman, who just got bumped out by a really strong run.
Yeah, but Luke put down such a clean run. I was amazed about how stood up he was on every single jump. Luke, talk to me about your run. How do you feel? What was going on in your mind?
I was just trying to lace. I don't know. I was just having fun, really. It was sick. I'm down. I didn't really have any, major things to work on, but we did it.
You definitely did it. How do you decide on how technical you want your rail tricks to be? Because you are so amazing on rails.
Thank you. I don't know. I feel like just growing up in North Carolina, I rode a bunch of rails, so it's just been jibbing for a minute. It's kind of my thing, more than the jumps.
And going into run number 2, what can we look for?
I don't know. I'll probably try to step up on that side hit. I only did back 7 on that, so maybe go back 10. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Well, amazing run. Good luck on your second one.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you.
Thanks, Louis. Meanwhile, the fridge, Tischendorf from Oslo, Norway. What's in the backpack?
Yeah, we go from talking about how Red Gerard has a ton of tricks in his bag to fridge off Tischendorf, who just has a bag.
Yeah,
backpack on.
Always.
All the time.
And I'll tell you what's in that bag. Style.
Style, and lots of it. 50-50, backside 270 the hard way.
Got glove flare coming out the back pocket, all of it.
I love this kid. Switch backside 900. And then this was insane. Frontside 1080 from that quarter pipe takeoff to jump landing. And then unfortunately on that third and final jump, he could not put down a trick he wanted, so he's going to end up with a 39.
Never not smiling. He's one of the important things about the reminder of the joy of snowboarding. Mr. Tischendorf. Looking forward to that second run. I love Winkleman. I'm just out here trying to lace. It's pretty much what I wake up. Don't you wake up every day it's my motivation. I'm just going to try and lace all of it.
So good.
Well, speaking of lace, Yuki Kodono from Tokyo, Japan.
And it's arguable that Yuki Kodono in the last probably has one of the most memorable U.S. Open appearances of the last 15 years.
Ooh.
When he shocked the world
2015.
And beat Mark McMorris and did that switch backside 1620. Absolutely unbelievable.
Well, unfortunately for Yuki, this is a practice run. But of course, he's just going to full send.
Yeah, just a cab 12. But yeah, enjoy this because you're getting a sneak peek of what you're going to see in run 2 from Yuki Kodono. I'm pretty excited to see the replay and just kind of see what went down, what went wrong on that first rail. Because that is very unlike Yuki Kodono. And you can tell he's a little gutted, literally and figuratively.
Looks like he might have ripped some fabric or maybe even some skin on this first rail on the transfer.
So he never locked into the initial 50-50. He kind of slid the 50-50 on his heel edge and just really never had the traction to get that 270 around.
And then just said, well, while I'm here, I'm just going to go ham
Yeah, Yuki is just an absolutely incredibly talented snowboarder. Backside 1080 right there.
That was gorgeous.
I mean, when he stomps, you know it. It's absolutely incredible when he puts one down.
I wish they gave points for recovery after transfer, 50-50 transfer body slide, and then just decides to hammer the rest of the course.
This kid right here, Brock Crouch, one of my favorite snowboarders alive. I love watching this kid snowboard.
And of course, Brock Crouch coming back from crazy injury.
Crazy injury. He was involved in a pretty horrific avalanche up in British Columbia, and this is kind of his first big contest back.
Seen him training a bunch in his rehab at the Red Bull High Performance Center, and he's just got so much joy. As we welcome into the booth, Rupe Tontieri. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine.
Thank you for joining us.
Good to see you, my man.
As soon as we said your name, the sun came out.
Yeah.
Do you usually have that effect on microclimates?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Everywhere you go.
I'm out of the contest today, so I took one for our team today night. So yeah, you know, at least I can do something useful.
How's your season been so far?
It's been busy.
Yeah.
Been traveling a lot and did World Champs, and yeah, it's been good.
Awesome.
A lot of POW as well.
A lot of POW. Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere, like across the entire world.
Yeah, Europe was pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Like, really good start.
Absolutely dismantling the top half of the course. Young Brock Crouch.
Yeah, cab 900 nose grab right there. Check this out. There's that double crippler. Let's go with a grab. Opens up, puts the landing gear down, and stomps. There's that double cork back 10.
And going huge as always.
Yeah, Brock is another one of those riders. I was saying how, like, it's become normal for Red Gerard to land at the bottom every time. But Brock is the same way. And that would make sense because they spend a lot of time riding together.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been known to send it pretty deep at times, too.
Yeah, you know, it's easy when you're still like 18, but when you get a little bit more age, you can't send that deep anymore. It hurts.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So 58.4 for Brock.
Put some mid pack in our qualifiers. There we see Rupe.
Hello.
We're only taking 10 riders out of this 32. Rupe, what kind of pressure is that with only 2 runs in a field like this?
It's a hard cut. You know, everybody can make it to the finals, and like, you really need to do your best. It's the best riders in the whole world in here, and yeah. It's not an easy job for the guys today.
Yeah, is there even such thing? With such a harsh cut and only 2 runs, is there even a consideration for a safety run, or are you just sending it full bore the entire time?
Woo! Darcy's
no
sharp.
safety runs these days anymore.
Take us through the rest of Darcy's run here.
Huge backside 1080. Oh! I saw he was doing that yesterday, and he was going totally massive, and he did it again. Respect.
That was insane.
Oh my god. And it's really hard out of that quarter pipe because the impact you get if you send it deep, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, because on the jump you always travel forward,
right.
But on a quarter pipe you go more up and forward.
Up and kind of almost diagonal.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of going cross court on the landing.
So you're going to feel the landing.
Yeah. And you can hear it as well, that it's not soft.
Yeah. Look at this. Cab 270 on, 450 off. Darcy's one of those dudes who I think he's one of the best rail riders on the competitive scene.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
And really consistent on the rails.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was huge. That was so big.
That was so big.
Yeah, Darcy, you need to slow down.
Darcy Sharp is telling me he was
Next
up
one.
to
You know how the Whistler guys are. There's no slow.
Yeah.
They're a different breed out there. There's something in the water up in Whist.
Full send only. See some unicorns down the bottom. Nice vibes.
Rope, tell us a little bit about this guy, Clemens Millauer.
Clemens Millauer, the Austrian Mozart. And yeah, he's been getting really good. He's known, he's like really good array rider. And he has full backs of jump tricks as well. Like, I think he's going all the way in US Open 2019.
I like that. You heard it here first. Let's check out this jump run, Rope. Ooh. Yeah, you could hear that one. It does sound like it's firming up. Are you hearing anything from the riders? Have you been talking to guys up there?
No, I just came out of the physio, so...
okay.
But I rode yesterday, and it was really firm, and... yeah, there is a lot of impact if you send far, so it's really hard to hold.
What's the general consensus from the guys on the course? Are they psyched on it?
Yeah, I think they're pretty stoked. Yeah, I liked it a lot, and I really liked this year they just had the quarter pipes, not jump front of it, so everybody actually need to hit the quarters.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we were watching this little soundbite earlier in the show of Brock, and how he was saying what makes it cool is that it's mandatory. You have to. No one can, go straight over a jump, and then it allows the judging to be more consistent.
Yeah.
Because then how do you judge a straight over jump as opposed to a side hit? Now everyone's judged on a level playing field. It's really cool, and it really proved in the women's event this morning, slopestyle semifinals. It was kind of the end all be all feature for the women.
Check in with Louis real quick as we watch Ruki Tobita checking in. What's going on, Louis?
I'm still up here with all the riders, dude, just checking out the runs. I love when someone puts down a hammer, this room erupts. But I got some social going on in here, and I even got a person who says, consider myself a great skier, but never snowboarded. The grandsons would love this video. I love when grandparents are tuning in to watch. Tons of comments. It's amazing to see people watching this from around the world. We got people from the Netherlands and all over. So if you guys have any questions, hit us up on the social. We'll be checking it in. And if you have any questions for riders or about the event, feel free to let us know.
And when you do so, remember the hashtag is Burton US Open. You can hit us at Red Bull Snow and at Burton Snowboards.
Oh my!
Talk about being able to hear it.
I could feel that down here in the booth. Frontside 1080. That was an insane run from Ruki Tobita. Coming out of Tokyo, Japan. 19 years old. And fired up right now. He's got the crowd going. Talk a little bit about that feeling at the US Open when you put down the exact run you wanted to and you stomp that last jump and the crowd goes nuts. What does that feel like?
You can't put that into words because it's like it's a special place. Like, you have the last jump, you can't really see it from the bottom that good, but then like the crowd is always waiting here, and it's kind of like that, like whole screaming just backs into one place. So it's like, it's unbelievable.
That's got to be such a rush.
Like Rene would say, unbelievable.
There's the switch backside 1260 right there. And the front side 1080. Deep. Just kneed himself in the chest.
He's like 2 inches shorter after that, for sure. But they got to go check him. Measure
and
him
a
out.
double grab on this one.
Backside 1440. Grabbing truck driver. 8.2 out of 10 on that final hit. Insane. It's going to be a big score.
Oh my God, yeah.
New leader. We have a new leader.
Ruki Tobita.
He's like, I'm in first place at the Open.
He might be my new favorite snowboarder at the moment. That was so fun to watch. That kid is sick.
Yeah, and I feel like all the Japanese, they're just always having so much fun, and they're so good at snowboarding.
They're unbelievable.
Their camaraderie reminds me of like the Brazilian contingent on the World Surf Tour.
Yeah.
Like, they just get so fired up for each other, and that extra motivation of like being down for the cause to move forward. Rupe, when you know that you got weather coming, how does that play into you when you're in a semifinal situation and you know like this weather's probably going to be a lot different come finals day? How does that affect your decision making?
It should not affect, but of course it does. Like, it's harder to see, and like it's really hard these days because even in the semifinals you can't do a safety run.
Right.
You need to put your 110% into your run and like really put it down good and clean to make it to the finals even.
So you just have to be present.
Yeah.
Think about any of that.
Yeah, I almost think the days of safety runs they're kind of done.
They're gone.
It's full bore all the time. Your best run on any given day.
Yeah. The top 5 guys used to be able to cruise almost in every event.
Yeah.
Like, there would be no question that they were making the final. And I say top guys, athletes, men or women. And we saw just what happened in the semis with Jamie Anderson.
Yeah.
There's nobody who had that bet.
Yeah.
But she wasn't going to the final today.
Oh, yeah, I would never take that bet, ever. No. It's Jamie Anderson.
Yeah.
How could she not be in a final? But, you know, unfortunately she didn't make that top 5 or top 6, you know, but
that also tells, like, you know, it mixes a little bit with the quarter pipe.
Yeah.
You need to totally change your run from like the other contests.
Yeah.
That quarter pipe, we were calling it earlier, like it's the regulator. It's the truth setter.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing in your snowboarding can hide.
Yeah.
There's no way around it either.
He'll fix that up for his second run.
So Moritz Tonen, the young Swiss rider, put down a frontside 1440 on that last jump. This kid is very talented.
All right, Moritz, best of luck there on second run.
Next up, the Hawaiian.
Some of our younger fans, look at that adorable baby.
Lion Farrell. I really enjoy this kid. I got a chance to hang out with him this summer doing some water training up at Laird Hamilton's house. And Laird has this, he has a, what do you call it? The slack line across his pool. So we're trying to walk across it, and like I get pretty far, you get stoked. Lion just comes out and starts doing Cirque du Soleil on this thing, and everyone's just like, oh, I guess we should just go home now. Because he's literally like dancing across this thing like it was nothing. It just goes to show, like, and it shows in his snowboarding. He's just a freak.
He's very light on his feet, very smooth, very fast, very powerful. Frontside 1080 from Lion Farrell. Backside 1260. The first 12 we've seen on that feature. Into the tab 12.
Casual with the Aloha.
Unbelievable run from Lion Farrell. So back-to-back 12s.
So stoked for him.
To end his run. Yeah, that is going to be quite a score coming in.
And it was super smooth from the top to bottom. So the judges give you a really good flow score from that.
Exactly, yeah. We were actually talking about that earlier. Like, flow score is kind of like how the run makes you feel watching it. You know, what's your overall, like, yeah, I really like that, or he's missing something.
Yeah.
That's what flows. That's the best way to kind of describe what that flow score is. So this is where things really started to turn on for Lion Farrell. Frontside 1080 into the backside 12. The first 1260 we've seen on that feature all day today.
And that's the thing, like, now you don't have a chance to hit a straight jump. You need to hit a quarter. We're going to see some new tricks.
Exactly. Totally. That was unbelievable. So 41. That is a big trick score.
Ripping skater, ripping surfer, ripping snowboarder.
Yeah, he comes from a bit of a surfing background.
Yeah.
His parents are big-time surfers.
He likes his place right now. That puts him in fourth. A warm-up bike up top there in the tent.
Oh, this guy.
Oh, the finish.
All right.
Man.
All around fun machine.
We are letting you call this run, but tell us a little something about Rene. How would you describe this kid?
It's just battery that never runs out.
And like T-Bird said earlier today, he's like, you said earlier today, like, this is my guy. If there's anyone who could, I think, could take out Mark, it's the dude.
He can do it. He can definitely do it. Yeah, he's one of the riders too, that he can film the video part of the year and he can win the biggest contest of the year.
Yeah.
He's an incredibly versatile snowboarder. And I recently heard a couple people refer to him as Renergy.
Going down on the 14.
Not quite able to put the triple cork backside 14 down.
I think there was something wrong on the takeoff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get a closer look here. 50-50 backside 270 transfer. And then 50-50 front lip 270.
I didn't saw nobody do that.
I actually totally missed that live.
Yeah.
That he transferred. That was unbelievable. Front board 450. And then the cab 12 nose. There's that double crippler. Look how slow he spins that last part. And just not quite enough air.
He was a little bit on the wrong axis.
Yeah, and it looked like he was drifting a little farther to the right than he wanted to.
But he will get the next one. And I really like his hat. I think it's from his dad.
Yeah, he is an interesting character. I like Rene Renekangas.
Even with the fall, still sitting only one spot outside the top. You see the flags blowing a little bit harder than when we first started. As Hiroki Kuritake.
Yeah, this is another rider where I've heard the name, but I don't remember seeing him ride in person. Super excited to see what he's got. Hiroki Kunitake.
Wow.
Well, I like that.
He said, I'll show you, T-Bird.
I like that. It's going to show you who I am. Half cab, 50 front flip.
Triple.
Frontside 1440 triple cork on the first jump. Into the backside 900. Here it is, the Showtime booter, cab 1260, Hiroki Kunitake. Hello, nice to meet you.
The US Open, man, it's the place, right?
Unbelievable.
I'm sure what...
Where these guys come from? Like, there must be a factory in Japan.
Just a special underground training. Just start them off at like 2. This was nuts. I felt like he was literally talking to you, T-Bird. He's like, oh, you haven't heard of me? Well,
as soon as I said it, I'm excited to see what this kid's going to do. Here it is. Half 50 back rodeo.
Got a 9 on that.
And then a cab 270 on, 270 off. Yeah, this kid is very, very impressive. Frontside triple cork 1440. And, you know, Rope, we were talking about, you know, I think the judges score you, like, the harder the trick you do, higher up on the course. I think you get rewarded for it.
Yeah, that's the frontside 14 triple is a really risky trick to do on the first jump.
Absolutely.
The first jump is not that big either, so it's like, look at this.
Cab 12.
Wow, what a landing.
Double grab.
I like that claim, too. Like a bullfighter.
Whoa. Wow. 46.1 for a trick score.
Yeah, there you kind of see the flow score. You had like a couple hand tracks and stuff, so then they like put the flow score a little more down. But
I'm checking in with the socials right now, and it's funny how many people are like, that they're just saying that the transition jump is just making this whole event. So the fans are loving it. Got some folks watching from Denmark. Welcome.
Now we got Judd Henke's on course. Cap 270 on, 270 off. Front blunt 450.
From the snowboarding capital of the world, La Jolla, San Diego.
Switch backside 1260. Into the
Whoa! What was that? Oh my God! Come on, body! Oh!
Dude!
Oh my God!
Judd Henke.
What was that quarter pipe hit?
Judd Henke's.
Did you see how hard he came in? He looked like he was bottom turning at Waimea as he came in.
Oh! I want to see a replay from that.
I'm not speechless often, but
I threw my pen again.
My word.
Second time.
My word.
You can tell that he's hungry. He's here to get on top.
Watch this.
No speed check at all, and then just
0. Oh, we missed the replay of the transition jump.
Oh, that was huge.
Yeah, he landed a little back foot heavy. He also landed pretty much at the bottom of that jump. But Judd Henke's, that was absolutely incredible. If he can put that down, I mean, just on amplitude alone, his flow score is going to be through the roof.
Yeah.
Wow. That was hectic. And you can even see the energy, like, he stomped back out of there like, work to do.
Yeah. Mons Roysland. This kid is one of those kids that makes my job hard. He does such complex rail tricks, and he spins so much on jumps that he keeps me on my toes. He is absolutely incredible rail rider. Half cab on, backside 360 off.
Wow.
What? I think he just took a little too much spin for that. Switch backside 180 to the bottom.
Oh.
You know, Rope, you're right. It seems like that quarter pipe jump. Ooh, I like that. That quarter pipe jump is really easy to overshoot.
Yeah.
Very easy. And it's not necessarily a speed thing. It's an approach thing. It's where you hit it from.
Because you don't want to go like a pipe wall, like straight up.
Right.
You want to also travel, but that kind of makes it hard to find the balance between going high and traveling, that you found the sweet spot.
Exactly. We got 3 riders left to drop here in run 1.
Yeah, that went faster.
That went real fast.
Than I thought it would. But also when like this heavy of snowboarding is going down constantly, it flies by.
Norwegian up in the finals. That's right, ladies. Norwegian.
Mons will save it for the second run. And before Mr. Sandbeck goes, we'll toss up to Louis.
What's up, you guys? I'm having a good time up here in the Riders tent. I'm feeling the energy's definitely building as first runs are getting done. I'm sitting next to Gimbal God, Stale's filmer. He's getting the shot up here as well.
You're sitting next to the God?
I'm sitting next to the Gimbal God.
No way, dude. Get his autograph for me.
He's getting the shot right now because we got this big screen TV so we can watch the runs. And I'm excited. This is one of my favorite slopestyle riders. Just how bolts he is and how clean and how such good style he has. Right there, 50-50 gap, front board, 270 out.
There's a few snowboarders whose Instagram I want to check every day. Stale Sandbeck is one of them.
Without a doubt.
I mean, just look at everything he does is so smooth and such good style, and he's got the double cork, the triple cork, the flat spins, and just everything so boned out and poked. Right there's the double crippler. Big air. I love seeing him hit it like a true half pipe wall. And then coming into this last jump. Backside 1260 just stomped. Like I said, he's got the variations of the mega corks and the flat spins, but every grab is just so solid and clean and poked.
Well done. Thanks for the call, Louis. And seriously, like, say hello to the Gimbal God for me. I need a picture with that guy. What do you guys think of this run?
This run was incredible. I think it's exactly what Stale wanted in a first run. Put one to his feet, get a score on the board, build from there. And then, you know, he's dropping third from last in run 2, so he gets the advantage of seeing what the rest of the field is going to do, and then tweaking his run from there. And, I mean, Stale is so adaptable. One thing I'll never forget in my 12 years of doing this is at the 2014 Sochi Olympics. It was just the start of the competitive double cork craze. And it wasn't long into that slopestyle event that it became very clear that that panel of judges wasn't going to award double corks as much as they were flat spins. So Stale just said, all right, I'm going to do a totally different run.
Yeah.
I'm going to spin everything flat. And he got silver.
Yeah.
That was the one that Sage won gold.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget seeing that and being like, this dude is the most adaptable contest rider alive. He could switch his run up at any given moment to whatever the judges are rewarding.
Yeah.
Not an easy thing to do. Another guy you picked as a dark horse to win this thing, the young bull out of Silverthorne, Colorado, Chris Corning.
Chris Corning, yeah, this kid does not have an off switch. He is full send all the time, non-stop, regardless of if it's practice runs, semifinals, or a final.
Yeah.
And I look at, you know, him versus, say, someone like Mark McMorris. Mark is a bit more of a finesse rider. You know, he's very smooth, light on his feet, very clean. Chris is just a powerful snowboarder. He's all power,
muscle.
All the time. Exactly.
And he stomps.
He
always going really far.
Backside triple cork 1440. Not quite able to hold on to it. But if he can put that run together, that's a dangerous run.
Yeah, that was top 3.
That was a top 3 run. And he can still step it up from there if he needs to.
But to your point, like every landing is just.
Oh, he lost his wallet on that run. And
a true drop wallet.
Henry Jackson, one of the live announcers, ran down to give it to him. If I were Chris Corning, though, knowing Henry, I'd check to see how much cash is left in there.
Yeah, I would do it.
Big score for that back rodeo out of that 50-50. Somehow or another saved that back 12.
And it looks like all right in TV, but when you're actually riding in a course, the flat line affects you way more than it looks.
Yeah.
When you're spinning 3 flips, 1440, and then you need to spot the landing.
Yeah, because you're using that landing as your reference.
Yeah.
3 times you're going to spot that thing. So unfortunately, Chris Corning is going to have to toss that run out. But it's only going to make it all the more exciting for run 2. Because I'm a firm believer that Chris Corning likes riding under pressure.
Yeah, he does.
I think it makes him ride better.
Yeah.
Kind of low-key looks like he could also get inside of a UFC cage.
Yeah.
And probably do damage.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Chris Corning is a beast.
Sparky.
Here he is. McMo trying to do the never been done and make it 3 in a row in slopestyle. To say that he's just on a roll this last year and a half.
I mean, his performance in Aspen just a couple weeks ago at the buzzer, last rider to drop, need a huge score. He did it.
He knew what he needs to do, and he just does it.
And
last year here, same thing.
Yeah.
And not to mention what this guy has overcome injury-wise in the last 4 years.
It's crazy.
To not just come back, but to come back and ride at a dominating level.
I mean, for anybody else, if you suffer a potential career-threatening injury, that's it. Progression passes you by. But if you're Mark McMorris, you come back, you work hard, and you just get back to the top again.
Yeah.
He's done it twice now. It's really impressive. So backside 1440 triple cork. I know that that's not the run Mark wanted. That's not the one. But again, much like Chris Corning, Mark rides really well under pressure.
Yeah.
which is the mark of a true competitor, really, if you can do that.
Pun intended. The mark.
That was so sick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, talking about the injuries he's been through, we're not talking broken wrists, broken collarbones. We're talking some pretty major stuff. And to come back from that and to regain your crown as the king of slopestyle riding, it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
He's done it more than once now.
And like, after I got 2 bad injuries in a row, it wasn't like my riding, it was more of the mental.
Yeah, exactly.
That I go back at the top, I'm like, okay, I need to do this again.
Yeah.
And like, you're nervous.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, Mark he's one in a million. He truly is. So yeah, that is not the run Mark wanted. He's going to look toward his second and final run, but as it's shaping up now, Chris Corning and Mark McMorris are going to be your last 2 riders to drop here in slopestyle semifinals. Right now, this feels like it felt at the end of the women's first run. There's this nervous energy, this butterfly, this anticipation.
And it's also hard because I saw it was a really good weather for practice.
Yeah.
And then you go on in the tent, and then you walk out and it's flatline.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I need to change my lens.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that we were talking about it before, the wind was like 7-8 miles an hour at the beginning of the contest. So we'll get an official number, but it's blowing, I think, just a little bit harder. That mixed with some flat light, and it's almost like it's a whole new day.
Yeah.
Now to your point, we find ourselves in a situation where our top leaders, the ones we expect to be qualified, are on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Your predictions for run 2?
It's hard to say because the conditions, and it can get more windier, and then you really need to reset your mind with speeds and everything. But yeah, I'm totally counting on Mark. I know he's riding really good under pressure, and yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Well, we will see what this all means for our second runs. You get to beat a stoke to be in that first place position. Will Mark McMorris qualify on a run to perhaps making it 3 in a row? We'll find out in these next runs.
First impression of this course is awesome.
Burton US Open has always done a really good job at integrating new features.
Every year it's something new and something that will be in the next contest, so it's always exciting.
I think for sure having creative features in a course separates a lot of riders.
People have to change their way of riding, and you've seen that in the last few years, especially with transition features and transfers on rails.
We had a full half pipe in the middle of one of our contests a couple years ago, and now we have the quarter pipes that you have to hit.
This is basically the first time ever that they've had a side hit without a jump in front of it.
It's not a feature found in every park around the United States, so it really separates the men from the boys, or the women from the girls.
We were at X Games telling them, like, all right, if you guys are going to keep building these side hits, you guys need to make it mandatory because it's too hard for the judges to, like, focus on if you hit it straight over or not.
It's definitely a lot easier to go over a straight jump and able to spin a bigger trick. So comparing that to someone who hits the quarter pipe and does a little bit less of a spin was just something that was really tough for us to do.
It makes it so much more progressive, and there's so much more creativity, and now I feel like it'll be a level playing field.
And I'm really excited to see all the cool and all the new tricks that are going to happen.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, around the world to the 2019 Burton US Open live from Vail, Colorado. Day one, feeling almost like it's the last day.
I don't really remember a semifinal where I had this nervous, anxious energy. In the women's this morning and the men's this afternoon. There's so much going on up there that it's kind of hard to process.
Welcome back, Tina Dixon.
Thank you. I was actually out there taking runs. I was doing some stuff with Kelly Clark. Yeah, you know.
Nice.
I was testing out the light. When you guys were talking about the flat light, it's very real.
Yeah.
That it's an issue.
Yeah.
Even just carving down the mountain, you're like, wait, is that a bump? It's an issue, and I think we saw it there with that run. So, get those high-intensity yellow lenses out.
For sure. And Rope, I liked what you said quite a bit, where when the light changes that much, it almost becomes a whole new event. You have to switch your entire mindset and how you're going to approach this course.
Yeah, because, there is like an hour between your runs, and then you walk out of the tent, and then you're like, oh, how is the wind and the light in the last jump?
Yeah.
You don't see it from the top.
Totally.
You just you land the second last hit, and then you're like, oh, super windy. What to do?
Sweet. I've been in this tent, and I come outside to a whole new universe. Rope, thank you very much for deciding to stay with us for another run.
Of course. I enjoy this.
Nice.
But, I need to say that I'm pretty nervous. It's easy to be up there. But watching from here, all your friends, I'm nervous for them.
Yeah, I'm sure it must be a different feeling. So,
well, I would love to see you interviewing us while we're strapped in, ready to drop.
Next year.
Sal got after it yesterday in the park.
In the children's park. I go where the mortals ride. But I did have fun yesterday. I couldn't imagine hitting any section of this course.
No.
It's having been commentating snowboard contests for 25 years now, to be able to really, in real time, I'm like, oh my God, this is snowboarding in 2019. This is the best. And US Open is that place for pure progression. We saw it from the women earlier, and we see it with the men. Ming Su, our first rider, did not hold back in that first run as he finds himself just outside of the cut again.
And this kid right here is 15 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Out of control. They're getting younger. They're getting better. There's that double underflip there from Ming Su. Frontside 720.
Nice.
Coming into that third and final jump on his final run here. Backside triple cork, 1440. Not quite able to put down the landing gear. Yeah, thinking about trying to spot a landing of a jump 3 times in this light, that's pretty wild.
Not easy at all.
But all in all, incredible showing from Ming Su, the young rider from China.
Yeah.
This kid has a future. It's official.
That's what you see at the U.S. Open, too, is all these young riders coming out that you wouldn't see before. 15 years old and doing backside triple corks off that final jump.
Yeah.
And also from China. Not from a snowboarding mecca community. Not from a place where you should have, the texture of style and all these things that this kid already has naturally.
Well, and I think China is going to become...
They're going to be big in snowboarding.
Global superpower in snowboarding.
Yeah.
Because 2 words. Bud Keen.
Right.
National team coach.
Right.
And you already see that in pipe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think China is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the coming years.
Next from Korea, Min-Sik Lee. Had some problems in his first run, but showed some promise. What do you do lens-wise? Everyone's got a different theory for flat light, but what's yours?
I have pretty red, orange. I like to use. I basically have 2 kind of lenses. I have black and then red.
Right.
You don't want to have too many options because then you get all messed in the head.
Yeah, some people like rose, some people like yellow, green, some people like clear on a flat day.
Some people ride without goggles.
Right. I'm not those some people.
Really common thing in Finland.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what went wrong right there from Min-Sik Lee?
Came up really short on that knuckle. I'm sure that the medical team will just take a little look to make sure he's okay.
But it's good they're like 15, so they will be all good.
Yeah.
I do that. I'm out for 2 weeks.
Oh, I do that. I'm cashing in a life insurance policy.
I mean, just the way he bounced off the knuckle, like that was a real slam.
That was violent. That was a violent one, but he's good. He's up and walking. Really good showing from Min-Sik Lee. I like that kid's riding. I'm psyched to see more of him in the years to come.
Up next from Christchurch, New Zealand, Carlos Garcia Knight. Again, no pressure, as he saw Zoe Sadowski-Sanat, his countrywoman, get that top qualifying spot.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about Carlos is it kind of seems like a lot of the other riders are rooting for him.
Yeah.
He's very well liked in that.
Definitely, and he has everything to get into the finals. Is he in right now, or?
Yep.
Perfect.
This is Carlos, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bummer. You know, Carlos last year, I remember he came on set and he had actually hurt his arm or his shoulder, right, in practice.
He was so good in the booth.
And he was so great, and just, you know, he's like, I wish I was riding, but I'm injured, so.
Nice bonus hit there at the bottom.
I recently saw some backcountry footage of Carlos too. Super good jumping into back.
Yeah.
Super.
They had a really good year this year in New Zealand.
Yeah, they did. So that will not be enough for CGK. Carlos Garcia Knight.
It's a great name to be.
It's
like you have a good chance of being famous.
Yeah.
With your name is Carlos Garcia Knight.
It is a Hollywood style name.
Action hero.
It kind of reminds me of Batman, right?
Yeah. Man of mystery. Next up is Eric Boschman.
The big question I have, where is the turtle suit?
Oh.
Yes, a few years ago wearing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I think he finished second. In fact, he did finish second that year.
But he brought props because
he threw pizza into the crowd.
Yeah, at the bottom in the finish corral, he had a large pepperoni pizza waiting for him.
Oh, I know.
He was throwing
I was down there and I was hungry and I'm like, hey.
You're like, Eric, come on over for an interview.
Nice.
Exactly.
That was sick.
So,
I mean, Eric's sitting in a relatively decent spot right now. He's in 7th. I wouldn't necessarily want to be in 7th, but he's in that top 10.
So he's in that 7th position, but there's a lot of heavy names that have not seen. We haven't seen the runs yet that they can do.
Right, and that's kind of where we were, Tina, this morning with the women's field. There were a bunch of names that normally you would think would already be up there after run 1 that weren't.
Yeah.
And now, you know, looking at the men's field, I see Mark McMorris, Judd Henkes, Yuki Kidono, Rene Rinacongas, Chris Corning.
Names that we would think would already be in that top 10.
Absolutely.
But here, Eric Boschman with his second run.
That is such a hard combo. Switch board slide, transfer 50-50, backside 360 out. There's that front blunt 270.
7. Ooh. That was sick.
Board slide 630 out. I remember the first time I ever saw someone 630 onto a rail, Chris Duffessy, in one of the old Forum movies back in the day.
Shout out to Chris Duffessy.
And now dudes are doing them off rails in the middle of slopestyle runs.
Chris Duffessy, a father of 2 now up in Whistler. Still ripping.
Oh yeah. He was my hero back in the day. I loved the Duff man. So Eric Boschman, will it be enough to bump him up just a couple spots? 61.1, so not quite enough.
Scary times for him to have to sit and watch. When we talk about conditions, we'll get some perspective from Louis Vito, who's with Chris Corning on these light conditions.
You know, I was lucky enough to grab Chris before a second run, but Chris, you know, the wind kind of picked up a little bit, the clouds came in. How has it changed the slopestyle course for you?
You know, this, in my opinion, this is some of the hardest weather to ride in, because in wind you can kind of go forward and figure it out, whereas in this you just have no idea what you're doing and everything's so over dramatic. But you know, it should be a good second run. Hopefully we can put it down.
Do you adjust a run according to how the light is, or do you just trust yourself? Because, I mean, you're doing triple corks. I've seen you do a quad cork. Do you have to make any changes?
No, I think because the level's so high here, you don't really have a choice. Yeah, it used to be that way, that when the light got bad, people kind of tamed down their runs, but nowadays it's just not the case.
Well, Chris, I look forward to seeing you stomp this second run, so good luck.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Nice perspective as we're on course with Dave Retzlaff.
And Corning, I've seen him in contests too, where, I mean, the second runs, and same with Mark McMorris, when that pressure is on, they perform.
Yeah.
There's something about it, whether the light's good or not. That pressure is just kind of like...
I like how he backed up everything that we've been saying today about, like, he's like, you used to be able to just like, oh, flat light, everyone gets to take it easy. He's like,
yeah, everybody do a 360 less.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore.
Nope. I'll tell you, I've really, really enjoyed watching Dave Retzlaff ride today. Yeah, this kid is really cool. He's really explosive. He's got good style.
This is the first time I see him riding live.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Me too. I saw his name on the start list before the event. You'll see here, I circled. There are 5 names I had never seen ride before.
Nice.
So I'm kind of paying close attention to those 5 names. I like it.
I like his little knuckle huck at the end.
Hey, Dave. We're stoked on you, buddy. Good riding out there. Good having you out
Yeah, good showing from Dave Retzlaff.
Again, Dave, we're hyped to have you out here. Can't wait to see more.
But then dropping next. I love this guy.
The book.
Sebe.
Sebe the book.
All good?
The second tallest snowboarding alive.
Is he taller than Mikkel?
I think Mikkel is taller.
Okay.
But no fact.
We don't fact check here. We'll have to have Mr. Bang come on set. We'll do a height check. But it's something about tall guys who have good style. It's almost an advantage because they look cooler.
It's almost better.
Look at Scotty James in the half pipe.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. The problem though with being tall is you're forced to go that much bigger than everybody else to make your airs look like in comparison to what everyone else is doing. But that's what Scotty does so well. He goes gigantic in the pipe.
Sebe right now is on.
Come on, bro.
Double crippler. What are we going to see here? I think it's the back 12.
Oh. 1080.
Back 10 from Sebe to Buck. So clean run from Sebe. He's currently sitting on a first run score of 39.
Oh, so that will
7.5. So it's going to be an improvement.
Easily be an improvement.
Yeah.
But is it enough to get him up in the top 10? Right now, Yuri Okubo is currently sitting on the bubble. He's your bubble boy.
I say he's going to get in.
Yeah, what is that bubble score?
That bubble score is 57.65.
6.5.
I mean, just the top section alone. His rails are so good.
Yeah, Sebe is such a good rail rider.
So technical and smooth on those. And then comes out here with the double crippler, getting that 7.1. And finishes it off. Backside 1080, so lands everything.
That was a smart move.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Because he could have gone for the 12, but like you said, it's lower light. You fall, it's over.
Yeah.
So put one to your feet that you're confident in. Try to get up into that top 10.
I can't believe that the 1080 is the 360 of 2019.
Yeah.
I like that comparison. Just look at the judges.
It's a smart move, just to do a super easy 1080.
Yeah, just keep it at 10.
Yeah.
Well, the way that riders do 1080s now, they almost look like 720s.
Yeah.
It's become the norm.
Nice tech score. And that is enough to move him into the dance. Puts him in 7th place.
Ooh, 7th is a tough one now, though.
Like a temporary dance card.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I mean, right now, if you're like Red Gerard, you're sitting in 2nd, you're pretty confident. If you have a score in the 80s, there's only 2 riders that do, you're sitting pretty well. But there's a lot of names I'm looking at. outside that top 10, where I would not be too comfortable.
Francis Jobin.
Yeah, Frank Jobin. This kid is the real deal. Board slide, 270 tuck knee. Into the backside double cork 12. That was an interesting way to spin that right there. Switch backside 9 on that transition feature, but reverting there.
You could see in his setup as he was coming to the wall, like you could see him think just a hair.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing you've seen on this stage?
So Frank Jobin, currently not up in that top 10. I don't think that's going to be enough to get him up in there. But a really good showing from Frank Jobin. I like that board slide 270 tuck knee right there.
Watch the last 180 on this one. He barely gets that around.
But that's pretty cool to see him do it with Indy. There is not that many guys who do back 12 with Indy.
A lot of people do it mute.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is why is that? Is it easier to do mute, or do you think that's just kind of how it was done and that's how people learned and stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then like melon, a lot of people do it with melon because you can kind of pull it with your hand.
Yep.
And like, I feel like you kind of need your backhand to like get it going.
Keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
All right, Luke Winkleman currently sitting in 4th place.
Proud of him.
First run score of 75.85. Asked how his run went by Louis Vito. He said, quote unquote, I was just trying to lace.
I was just out there trying to lace.
Hey, that was the interview
That's the line
of the day.
I'm just out here trying to lace.
So right now, Luke Winkleman is sitting pretty well. I mean, he doesn't have much to lose at this moment. I think he's going to try to up that score. Ooh, switch, double cork, back 10. And now the question is, will a 75.85 be enough to advance to finals? And with this weather change, it just might.
Yeah.
You never know.
He will have to be happy with that 4th spot. I think he's pretty safe.
I think so too.
That transfer was mean.
Yeah, Luke is a really good rail rider.
Yeah, super good.
Like, could film a street video part.
Easy.
With no questions asked. Yeah, he's very, very talented kid.
He's got that nice, just sleepy style coming off the rails.
So how about 19-year-old Ruki Tobita as your leader? Still in the lead right now.
So crazy.
Coming out of Tokyo, Japan. How psyched is he right now? He is pumped.
I kind of have a feeling there is already a couple Norwegians. Norwegian, Japanese.
Yeah.
That there will be a Japanese podium this year.
You think Japanese podium?
Triple?
Wow.
I don't know.
I like that. I like that.
Takeru Otsuka, like if he was here, he's out because of an injury. But this year, he's been riding so well.
Unbelievable.
So good.
Rupe, we have a question for you from a fan watching at home named Peter. Which makes more sense to you? Technical, someone doing a really hard trick, or doing a hard trick with style?
Depends, rail or jump. But I would say technical with style. Because there is a lot of stuff you can like do really technical, but then you don't really have that much style in it. And you can do triple corks really stylish. So technical and style.
You got to have both.
And you know, snowboarding is all about style.
True, especially at the US Open.
Yeah.
Sven Thorgan displaying plenty of style in that run.
Yes, Sven had a really good run going, but the question is going to be on the ride out of that last jump. What I really like about Sven snowboarding is that he can do those big 1440 and 1620 style tricks, but he does them dead flat.
Yeah.
It's really cool, which I personally think that's harder to do. I think the cork helps you, and if you can figure it out, it becomes a little more routine for you. Spinning flat it's a lot of work.
It's way harder to stop the rotation when you land.
Right.
Well, and he grabs nose. Like, I think he's one of the best riders that always grabs nose and styles that out.
Well, and like backside 1440 stale.
This is going to be close, this landing.
That was
See how the judges read this.
That was stylish for me. Ooh.
Yeah. Huge trick score right there.
They gave it to him.
And a 29.2 for a flow score. 6th place.
They gave that they called that kick out a style claim. Like, yeah, that was a claim. Whoa! Oh my goodness! The goat, a sighting of the goats.
There he is,
Terry Hawkinson. Won the U.S. Open a few times. I wonder if we'll get some poaching out of the Hawk in pipe.
I'm pretty sure he's in there.
That would make my whole week.
That would be incredible.
Ran into him the other night. He was checking into his hotel. He had a snowboard bag and 6 bags of Whole Foods with like nothing but vegetables and seeds in them.
All right, here we got Sean Fitzsimmons coming out of Hood River, Oregon. Switch back 12 double cork. It's also really incredible to me that, Sean Fitzsimmons is one of those names on my list that I circled who I hadn't heard of. And yet I haven't heard of him, and yet the kid can do switch double cork back 12.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Also, he might have just put himself in a nice running for the last jump contest.
The Burton bonus hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kid, he's promising. And he is currently your bubble boy right now. Sitting on a first run score of 61.3. That's what it's going to take to get up into the top 10.
It's so nice to see that the future of snowboarding is so bright.
Yeah.
So when I'm done competing, I can still watch quality, high quality snowboarding.
Well, when you're done competing, you're coming into the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
You're here with us.
You'll be able to really watch and talk. Casual vibes up in the tent of love.
A lot of team managers. Come on, Mikey.
Mikey Cicerelli currently sitting in 29th place.
And Mikey's finished second before at the U.S. Open. So he's had success.
Absolutely.
On this, not this exact course, but a very similar course.
And a fully switch rail run. Into a frontside 1080. Oh, he took off real high. Oh. Did you see how uphill he took off at a quarter pipe?
Oh! And that's the hard thing about the quarter pipe, because you can't go in the public park and find one of those things and practice it. It's always in a contest, and it's not easy.
Yeah, Robbie, how often have you had a chance to even hit a feature like that?
Not that much, like US Open, couple other contests, but I can easily count the times with my hands.
Yeah. Guaranteed next season they're going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Robbie, you're one of the riders, like if I go back to last year's competition, like you hit it. I think Red hit it, but there weren't a lot of riders that actually hit the side option.
Most people were opting for the straight over. And I think the judges were scoring the straight over a little higher than the side hit. So it's cool that they made it the mandatory side hit this year.
And last year I just wanted to hit it because they built it. Somebody needs to ride it.
Yeah.
The features like when they get right.
They do. Yeah, the park dudes really like seeing people hit their stuff.
Somebody who could definitely make A charge is the 18-year-old Yuri Okubo, only sitting in 12th. Remember, 10 is our cut line. Mr. Fitzsimmons, the very uncomfortable human right now.
Yuri Okubo, 50-50 front lip pretzel. Half cab on, back 3 off. 50-50 backside rodeo. Wow. Into the cab 12.
Side.
Wow. Come on, buddy.
40. Hold on.
Now, where do we put that? If you factor in Sven Thorgren's little check after the land, that was more of a bobble than a check.
I'm gonna need to see it again.
Yeah, we're gonna need a replay.
That's a tough call. Because up until that point, you feel like, all right, cool, you're getting in.
It's Lincoln. Yeah.
Check this landing.
1260 lands it.
Just bolts.
Yeah, this whole run was nuts.
This frontside 10 off of that transition feature that we were talking about, how hard it is to time that.
And here it is.
I don't know.
What do you think, Sal?
I don't want to be a judge.
I'm giving it to him.
I do have to say, I feel like Sven Thorgren's little check was like more in control.
But where that one to me didn't feel like it made a difference in him landing or not. It felt like incidental content.
Right.
Incidental contact. Again, I am not one of the 8 wise men next door to us.
Correct.
Faced with this decision.
I'm glad I'm not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be a judge.
It's not an easy job.
There they are. They're like, oh, man. Really, you're showing us now?
Oh, we see you guys. We see you guys.
Nothing but incredibly gifted, long-time, snowboard-obsessed human beings in that booth. Like every one of those men and women in that booth more than deserve to be in there. And they're a team. Like I got to stop by before the event this morning, and they were having discussions among themselves, helping setting standards, etc. That's all they were. They weren't just shooting the breeze. They were talking snowboarding, talking about how they were going to judge things.
And I think they go out to dinner at night and talk about the same thing. They are so obsessed with snowboarding, and that's what you need to be, though. You need to be that.
What I really like, I can go and talk to these judges. If I feel like I got robbed or something, I can go and have a conversation with them and they explain me.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're in some contests and you don't even see the judges.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get a chance before
this is a long debate
to talk to the guys, to talk to the judges?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes we do.
Maybe I do deserve to be in the booth. Oh, is it going to be enough? Oh, so close. It affected his flow score.
It did.
Yeah.
It
did.
That's what makes the U.S. Open the U.S. Open.
Because his trick score was good.
Right.
Yeah. It was good.
He got
7 out of 10. Yeah.
On that.
That's a good trick score.
And that's what I love about this. Every contest should be judged this way.
Yeah. It does just make it so much easier to understand and to justify things. Wow.
Well, a great showing from him nonetheless, as Stan Kleibdal.
Coming out of Geilo, Norway. I did a story back in the day, about 7 years ago, on the academy they have up there in Geilo.
Snowboard factory. From Norway.
It is out of control. Back then, it was one 50-foot jump.
Right.
And they just all day, just nonstop.
And he was 14 then.
I remember meeting Stian. Yeah, he was this little kid who was absolutely crushing it. It was crazy. But the names that have come out of that academy, it's out of control.
Yeah.
Like starting with Torstein Horgmo, and it's every Norwegian snowboarder you've ever heard of after that.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible the emphasis they put on winter sports up there.
It's
really cool.
I'm a little jealous for them.
Yeah, did you go to any academies or anything like that, or you just...
Yeah, we have a snowboard school in Finland, but I think the hill is a little smaller, so...
Which hill is it?
Vuokatti.
Okay.
But we have an indoor pipe.
Oh. Okay.
So that's our secret when we used to have a lot of pipe riders back in the day.
Is that the one that Rene...
Yeah.
50/50's the ceiling?
Yes, exactly.
Unbelievable. Ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
At Norwich, I had the privilege of hosting the Arctic Challenge back in the day.
You know, we talk about the judges and the appreciation of them. We got a piece actually with Red Gerard speaking to the judging at this event.
I mean, as a snowboarder, I always think for us it's kind of easy. I mean, we try to do the tricks that we know how to do or try to learn something that works with the slopestyle course. But as a judge, I can only imagine. I mean, you got to watch however many riders are in the contest and try to judge these new features off their ride. I don't know. It's a crazy thing for sure. So I'm always impressed with their work.
Old soul. That young Gerard speaks like he's been on the planet a few times.
Yeah, he's a smart young kid.
Yeah, he is. So Red currently...
And really good at snowboarding.
On course and in second place.
So which backside 12?
I really like this trick.
What?
Wow.
Come on.
Here comes the triple cork. Boom. That was insane.
Oh, my God.
That was absolutely insane. Fired up, says Red Gerard.
Well, he's not giving the judges an easy job.
I do like his, I thought his quote was funny where he's like, yeah, we as snowboarders have it pretty easy. It's like, do you? Half cap 50-50, backside 3 melon out. How easy do you have it? Board slide 810.
I never saw that before.
Oh, he basically did a frontside 900 with a rail in the middle.
This was crazy.
Yeah, this was absolutely incredible.
What? Huh?
And he was the first guy who did a front double out of the quarter pipe.
Yeah, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are opting, or a few people are opting for the double crippler, which to me almost seems more natural on that feature. Just
9-1 on that back triple.
Wow.
8-8 on the front double.
We have a new leader.
Wow. That is 100% spot on score right there. 84.7 for Red Gerard, your new leader.
Wow.
Having a fun season 2, hanging out in the backcountry.
You know what? You go back, I think it was 2016 that Red Gerard did his first backside triple cork 1440 here.
Yeah.
And everyone just mauled him at the end. Like, it was such a big deal for him to do it there. He was so young and just coming onto the scene, and now...
Well, this is where riders want to unveil their new tricks, because it's a bragging rights thing.
Well, and there's so much support, too. I mean, just from the snowboard industry itself and from riders, and just the vibe is that way. Just do your big tricks for the first time.
It's the greatest snowboard contest.
Yeah.
This is a contest, think about it. This is a contest that made Craig Kelly a household name.
Yep.
This event going back to 82, like this, it blows my mind. Like, and then that it just continues to have this standard. I believe Louis is with Red right now.
Red, I just have one question, because you put down such a great first run. The light got worse. It's really hard to see. What's the secret to putting down an even better run and stomping it perfectly?
I don't know, man. It's pretty fun right now. Your US Open always has the best courses and the most creative stuff, so I guess I just kind of got juiced up from everyone else. Everyone's ripping. I got my buddy Luke Winkleman just killing it. But yeah, it's mad fun.
That was amazing to watch, man. Congratulations, and I can't wait for the finals.
Thank you, Louis.
On course, getting the go-ahead.
Dude, hell yeah.
I like that. What's your secret to just being better when everything's worse? I want the fridge in the final, don't you?
I want the fridge.
I want to see what's in the backpack.
Everyone wants to see Fridge in the final. And
also a competitor for tallest snowboarder.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of style in the backpack. We know that.
50-50 hard way back 2. Transferring from rail to rail. Coming in switch here. Half cab, tail press, little layback there.
Hand drag, just a little sauce on it.
Boom. Switch backside 900. Oh.
Oh my God. That was
1080.
sick.
He took off real far uphill.
So close.
Back 10 double got him. No,
that was it.
That was it.
Like he got all the hard stuff out of the way.
Look at this.
That's the craziest transfer I think we've seen today.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a backpack on too. You got to remember that. Front one on, switch, backside 360 off. And here's that switch backside 900. Setting him up regular.
I'm pretty sure it was a 12.
12?
Yes.
Oh, he spun it slow. I like that. My bad. Holy cow.
That was the best part of his run, I thought, was that 1080 on that transition feature and then right into this backside 1080.
What happened there, Kobe?
I don't know. Maybe it's a light. You know, like sometimes you have a, you know you can do a trick, so you kind of like chilling and then like, yeah, you just think you can do it and then it just hits you straight back to the face, you know?
Yeah, I kind of think you're right. Like he had it. It was there. But sometimes when the light does get flat, that landing sneaks up on you so quick.
And like, I see it myself, like sometimes you get too comfortable about yourself and then like, then it's just a butt check.
Yep. All right, I'm really interested to see what's going to happen here. Yuki Kodono currently sitting in 14th place, 4 spots outside the top 10.
And fully capable.
Capable of putting a score down in the mid to high 90s right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
No question.
Not a problem.
So that's where things went wrong for him on run 1, which was very unlike Yuki Kodono. But he's also a rider that builds momentum very quickly when things really start linking for him.
Whoa! Oh, that was a good save.
That was a really good save.
Come on, bud. Nice.
1260.
Cab 12.
And that's something new as well.
Yeah.
I didn't see that trick never before. Come on, bud. Oh!
All right. Okay. I'm getting antsy.
Landed that one in the pickup. Literally in the parking lot pickup.
Wow. Yeah, do you have to valet your snowboard when you land that? you gotta tip the lot guys. Cab 270 on, 270 off. And then yeah, watch this. Front blunt, a little back seat there, but good save. Might affect the flow score just a little bit.
Right.
Cab 1260.
I think this is the one of the hardest trick today that guys did out of the quarter pipe.
Well, what's interesting too is on the quarter pipe, I've been noticing that when people do spin frontside, they've been going from the other side off their toes.
Yeah.
Like you would in a pipe almost.
Yeah.
He went straight off the heels.
Yeah.
Like a regular jump. So I think that's going to get him in. There were a couple bobbles in there, here and there.
I really hope he gets in.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see what he's capable of doing in the finals.
I know. When he gets into the finals and it's 3-run format.
I mean, his run where he beat Mark.
The back-to-back 16-20.
And every rider came out and was hoisting him over their head, just screaming.
It also just didn't look real. It looked like something that came from outer space. Is it going to be enough?
Ooh, it's enough.
It is. 7th place.
But
for how long?
For how long?
Yeah.
We've been talking about approach, various approaches to their runs and mindset. Let's take a glimpse into the mind of Brock Crouch.
This contest, I just started kind of like working with a new coach a little bit, and I'm just like going at it fully differently and just like having as much fun as I possibly can and make the judges just like happy that I'm riding and make it look good, hopefully.
Brock Crouch out of Carlsbad, California, my hometown, Lancer Pride. And of course, as we talked about before, you know, the fact that this kid's even riding a snowboard after what he went through with his horrendous injury last year for that avalanche, and then the work he did to just build his body back up, and now riding at this level.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see him on this start list, to be back here competing at the U.S. Open.
So cab 12.
Wow!
Crippler to the bottom.
Come on, Brock.
Oh! I am done.
What?
Nice, Brock.
That was an insane run from Brock Crouch.
So good to have him back.
I was just going to say, I think what Sal just said, I think everybody up in that rider tent is feeling too. They're just so happy to, you know, one, that he's alive after going through all that, and two, that he's back and he's as good, if not better, than he ever was.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to see Brock riding at this level. He's such a good kid too.
Well, and he talked about, you know, he's like, I just want to show something that just makes you want to ride. Like, you know, that's the overall impression that the judges score that flow score on.
That cap 12 was
dirty.
Was very low-key insane during a pretty psycho run. Double crippler. Brock's another one of those riders kind of like Red, where it's become the norm for him to max out a jump.
Yeah.
To just land almost dead flat and power through it.
That double cork 1080 was gorgeous. Like, that was just perfection.
That's a big trick score right there.
Nice flow score. And he is in.
Now you see on the second run now, like, the guys are just starting to stomp it.
Yeah. Yeah, they've figured it out.
Beautiful up one.
Bubbles just shifting. Boschman just got ounced, and now poor Sebe de Buck is like, oh, it's my turn to have to sit here and be stressed out.
To have to sit here and watch Darcy Sharp drop in.
Yeah, who's totally capable.
Yeah,
super good rail line. He has everything on a jump, what you need.
His switchback 12s are insane.
Yeah. And also Darcy is the one guy who really likes to send it over the jumps.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. Coming in switch here, 270 on 450. Coming out of that rainbow rail.
Come on, buddy. Yes.
Yeah, Darcy is putting it together. What's he got on this third and final jump? Wow! Frontside 1080 double cork.
Whoa.
That's a trick that not a lot of people do anymore, because certain riders focus on the frontside triple, but just a frontside double cork 1080 nose grab, that was a beautiful.
And that was really floaty.
It was really nice.
Beautiful.
The whole run was floaty.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be a big flow score.
Yeah, I think so too.
No hand tracks, went pretty big.
50-50, transfer 270 to front board. Forward slide, pretzel out.
Not easy.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like when you're going pretzel out, a lot of snowboarders, not just pro snowboarders, just people in general who are learning that trick, you get a little washy when you come out of that trick. Darcy gets the entire thing around. He lands on an edge rather than, 90.
That switchback 1260 was, the landing couldn't have been more perfect.
That grab, that nose grab on that double cork.
And how he's pulling it.
Stylish.
Big trick score.
Score coming in for Darce. Big improvement coming our way.
Big flow score to boot.
He moved top 5 into that 4th place position.
So now Stale Sandbeck is on the bubble, but still has a second run to go.
Exactly.
And then Yuki Kodono is currently in 9th place.
That seems even more stressful to me to be on the bubble, but then also have the gun in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you sort of have the final
You
say.
control your fate.
Yeah.
Okay, Clemens.
Man, this second run is amazing.
Yeah, I'm getting a little antsy, and I might need to stand for some of these runs. Do the coach's crouch.
Oh.
Nose slide pretzel. Ding.
Yes.
Front side 720. So switch back 12 into a front 7.
Great backside 1080.
So floaty on that last jump.
Will it be enough?
See, now it's going to get interesting, because how do you compare that to someone like Darcy Sharp's run, where it was similar? Double cork 10, throw a 12 in there, good rail tricks. It's gonna get real interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to see, because the last couple runs we've seen, they've done 1080s on that bottom jump.
Yeah, I've been
kind of
wondering.
Toned it down, but then you saw the guys with the 1440s, and that's where they were having problems, like sitting down or maybe not getting the pop in the rotation.
And I feel like that's why Red Gerard is currently in first, because that backside triple cork 14 was insane. It was one of the highest scoring tricks of the day. So if you're willing to risk it,
that's the question.
You will be rewarded. But if you want to play it a little safer, it's up in the air as to whether or not that's going to work out for you.
Clemens had an insane top half of the course as well.
But look at that score, an 8.4 on the 900 Stealthfish. So if you can perform it right, style it out, then get that flow score up, and the jump score.
So a 9, a 7, a 10. His rail tricks were good. They were really good. We'll find out right now. 40.4 for his trick score.
67.4.
Just out of that top 10.
Change things.
12.
It's great riding.
That was an insane run from Clemens Millauer.
The snowboarding that you have to say goodbye to in 2019, like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that was amazing. Bye.
Yeah.
And you know, like, for all the riders, it's kind of like the last big contest. Like, you're like, okay, it's done for the season.
Yep.
Of course, like riding and everything else going down, but.
How about Ruki Tobita, currently in 2nd place right now?
After you were like, I'm excited to see what this kid has.
I mean, these kids are making me look good, both in the men's and the women's field. They're making me look real good. It's awesome.
In 2nd place right now, so it's a nice little practice run.
Switch back 12 into a front 7.
You think he's riding with confidence?
It's such a confidence booster to be in 2nd place right now.
Backside 360. So now trying to challenge his first run score on that one.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Ruki Tobita is going to make finals. Currently in 2nd place.
Yeah.
He's going to make finals.
That's a good bet.
Only 2 scores in the 80s right now.
Yeah.
He's one of them. Red Gerard is the other. You know, this, if you think about it, scores in so 84 is the highest score we have right now. Finals. When the finals come around.
Yeah.
When do we start seeing the 90s?
I think you're going to see him pretty quick. You'll probably see him in the first of 3 runs during the finals.
And we still have riders left for today as well.
Oh, yes.
You never know.
9 riders left.
We got Chris Corning, Stale Sandbeck, Mark McMorris,
Mons
Roysland.
We didn't even get to see Mons Roysland ride. Like he fell off the top features.
Louis, Nice crowd here on day one. What's the tone of the crowd?
It's only Wednesday, the first day of competition, and we already have a pretty packed house. People are stoked watching this. It doesn't matter that there's no sun right now. And in fact, the social engagement's going off. We got people from Lithuania, New Zealand, Norway, Iceland. You know, you guys got to remember, we're all over right now around the world. Ask your questions, tweet. We love social, and we love everybody that's out here today supporting the riders.
And we love you, Louie.
Thank you, thank you.
Ooh, that was gorgeous.
Moritz Tonin on course right now. What do you know about Moritz?
Also a tall guy.
Tall guy.
And yeah, really good jumper. And yeah, I kind of still like, he has everything to make it all the way to the top.
Yeah.
But it just didn't happen yet.
At this point, I see him more in the big air contests.
Yes.
Some of the scaffolding jumps. That's where I've seen him compete more.
When did it happen for you, Rope? Where, because every snowboarder at a certain point has all the tools necessary, but when did it finally click for you when they all started working together? When you found yourself on more and more podiums and you were feeling more confident in your riding? Do you remember?
I think it was 2011 in Burton European Open.
Yeah.
I went there like open jacket and then ended up on the top spot. I was like, whoa, this is sick.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got all the invites to the big contest, but unfortunately I broke my collarbone the week after that. So I was like, I have everything to like make to the podiums, but I'm just not there.
Right.
But then like in 2012, 2013, they were my years.
Yeah, very cool.
Do you find that injuries for you have been a good thing? In the bigger picture?
I think like in the bigger picture, yes, but for sure not for my snowboarding. They've been a huge set down, you know, like I had 2 big injuries just before Sochi Olympics, and that was a time when everybody was learning new big tricks.
Right.
But yeah, it's been learning me a lot from like, you know, everything is not just snowboarding.
Right. From Hawaii, Lion Farrell.
Yeah, Lion Farrell.
Good God.
He's on a burner right now. That rail section was ridiculous.
You know, he competed at one of the World Cups, the Sizerom in Italy, and finished on the podium. And I think ever since then, he's just been getting better and building from that.
Yeah.
This run is nuts.
Yeah, back 12 on the transition kicker.
Wow!
Cab 14.
Wow!
Lion Farrell, who's currently sitting in 6th place, which isn't necessarily that bad of a spot to be.
He's going up.
He's going up.
Yeah.
He's going up.
That was the first Cap 14 we see, right?
Yeah. I feel, okay, so, you know, what we were just talking about, where you have all the tools, and everything's starting to work in your favor, and you're starting to figure it out and ride with more confidence. I feel like Lion's there right now.
Yes.
Like he's going to be a superstar. And he's just in those beginning stages of completing the toolbox to having everything and having everything necessary to make a serious run to the top.
And like when you have like all the tricks and everything and you get once on the podium, that gives you so much confidence for the next one that you are like, okay, I can do this and I will do this.
I belong.
Yeah.
And then he throws the cab 1440 on that bottom jump when we saw some riders earlier just tone it down to the 1080.
That was a statement run.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. There you go. So he bumps Luke Winkleman down to 6th, and Lion Farrell. I mean, right now, every spot up counts.
Yeah.
Wow. That was mind-boggling. Well, let's get a glimpse into René Rinikangas from someone who's not René Rinikangas.
I think René is the biggest inspiration for us all these days. He's the new young block that just came in and blew everybody's mind, you know. It's really fun to watch. It's good energy, always happy. It's like the little brother I never had.
Stale Sandberg, putting in perspective and you see he's got that little brother energy. Like, yeah, he's just going.
Yeah, he's a little Duracell battery that never runs out.
And you don't need to recharge it.
You don't.
Yeah, I've never seen
No, I think the judges didn't saw that.
And look at this light change here. We got a little bit of sun poking through. You can kind of see some shadows on the course, making visibility a little bit better.
Oh. Gets it.
And that's what I like about his riding. He did a butt check on the first jump, but he's still gonna do his run all the way. Throws a triple on the last one.
He's not done. He's not done. Yeah, Rene Rinnekongas from the clouds. He just kind of appeared on the scene.
Yeah.
There's just something kind of mesmerizing about him. Like, you just want to watch his every movement on and off the hill. He's just this little ball of energy. And then you actually look at it and you're like, okay, this kid is like a remarkably incredible snowboarder.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
He's the next Peter Pironen from Finland, definitely.
I like that analogy. There's that backside 1440 triple cork.
That score seems a little...
That was really low score for back triple melon.
Exactly.
And it was perfect, and it was pretty big.
So he's currently in 13th place. I think that flow score is going to be affected a little bit. 22.8 for a 64.
Not going to be enough.
Well, 13 is better than 17.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
I mean, yeah, you get 13th place at the US Open.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Pretty good. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I would take it.
And you know, even be in a US Open in top, how many riders we have? 32.
Yeah.
That's 32 best snowboarders in the world.
Yeah.
Hiroki Kunitake. Explosive first run. Presently in third.
Yeah, he's
good.
He'll be in finals. He'll be there. 4 riders left to drop after Hiroki Kunitake.
So is that going to be a practice run or a chill run? I don't know if Japanese have a chill run.
That's not chill. That was not chill at all.
Nor was that. That was ridiculous.
Practice run. Oh my God. Wow.
12 at the bottom.
Wow.
Unbelievable. So 78.55 is his first run score, and that very well might beat it. That might top that score. Switch board slide to front board.
That was right after you asked if he was going to chill. No, I'm going to get a 9 for this half cab back rodeo out.
I think he hears what we are talking about because the first run you said like you never heard about it before.
I'm like, I haven't heard of this kid before. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And he just went Richter, psycho.
Well, the backside 1440 into a backside 1260 off of that.
Into a cab 12.
Yeah.
2 12s and a 14. And he's in third place already.
And that last one was just crazy bolts. Look at that. Look at all that blue. Look at that trick score.
2 9s.
All right, 80.7. So he does improve, but remains in third place.
What were you saying about the future of snowboarding when you retire?
Normally I'm out there, but it's already hard to count the spins for me.
Wow.
I'm very interested to watch this kid's run right now.
He's hungry.
Judd Henke's nothing to lose at this point. Currently sitting in 18th place.
And he has all the tools.
He has everything that you need to win the U.S. Open. 50-50 front lip pretzel out. Cap 270 on, 270 off. Front blunt 450.
That bubble scores a 70.1. And it's Stole Sandbeck who's presently, I believe, in that spot.
Switch back 12. Into the... Whoa! 1080. That's exactly what did him in on run 1.
Still going.
The same hit.
How do you go from that?
How do you get speed?
That was insane.
And there is like a couple of seconds between those jumps to set up again.
It's like he's riding on top of the Mario Kart arrow.
Yeah.
He's going twice as fast as everyone else somehow. Well, whatever it is, his wax tech deserves partial earnings.
Yeah.
If he ends up taking the win here. Because that kid, Judd Heynckes, is flying around this course like a madman.
It's an 8.5 on that 1440. That
was as good as Red.
Is he?
Yeah.
That was just that one.
But that's the thing, it's not easy to judge when there is.
And it's not going to do it.
Yeah, that.
Unfortunately, not going to see Judd, but
I mean,
not stoked.
That fall did it. If he had landed that clean, I'm pretty sure he's in that top 10.
No, there's no doubt he's in there.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm still a bubble boy.
Stale is still the bubble boy.
Going over here.
Can you imagine if you're Stale and you're on the bubble and you know that you still got McMorris coming?
Chris Corning.
And Chris Corning.
Yeah.
And Mons Roisland.
Yeah.
Not the easy place.
Yeah.
You may as well be like, if you're Stale, say, okay, next run, I'm going all in.
Yeah.
Which I know he will.
Mons is not playing around in his top half of the course.
Half cab on.
This is
back 3
so
up.
floaty.
And then board slide under flip. Oh. Front side 10. That threw him off his line just a little bit.
Oh.
It threw him off just enough. I mean, he still did a back 9.
Switch backside.
Switch back 12.
Never able to recover.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, that's a heartbreaker. Mons Roisland. His rail stuff is insane.
Yeah.
It is so tech.
This is so cool.
Board slide 630 out.
That's where he had problems on that first run. So he gets past that, and at that point it's like, all right, it's on.
Yeah, and he wanted to come out of that on his heels and then straight into toes, but he somehow kind of ended up taking the rider's right toe edge line, and that just threw him off. And then he had to kind of skim it with that back 9.
And that's the other thing with the quarter pipes. You kind of need to land on your edge to make it left
One
or
way
right
or the
side.
other.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you can't just go straight.
If it was a straight-on jump and you're going the wrong way, you just kind of hop on your heels and get back on track.
Well, we talked about what it would be like to be on the bubble, but also have fate in your own hands.
Yep.
And for Stale right now, who knows he's got Chris Corning and Mark McMorris behind him, there is no safety here. What is the move?
I mean, if you're Stale right now, your mindset is, okay, theoretically, I'm in 12th place.
Right. I'm not even in this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I need to get up to 7th or higher and then you're in.
Yeah.
His score is a 70.1. So he could easily even bump it up to a 74 or a 73.5.
Without a doubt. But then knowing Stale could put down an 87 right now and be your new leader and bump Red Gerard down into 2nd place.
Well, he's got to make a case for himself. Woo!
Well, it's already done a completely different line. Has stepped it up in the rails.
That's what we were saying about Stale, is he's the most adaptable slopestyle rider on earth, I think. He can switch his run mid-run. double crippler. Backside 12.
I think that's going to be a higher score than 70.1, which he's sitting on now.
It's going to get very interesting for riders like Ståle Sandbeck, Brock Crouch, and Yuki Kodono.
Yeah. He wants 73 or above to be able to feel chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch Chris Corning and Mark go and feel okay. But this top section, he mixed it up from his first run.
Cab 270 on, 450 off.
That was gorgeous.
That was real nice looking. And then the cab 12. I like that he's grabbing stale right there.
As the judges did too.
So 2 8.3s on those jumps.
Yeah, those are big scores. 7.5 on that backside 12.
Strong trick score coming.
Hi, Mom. These are my two little brothers. Hi, Rich.
Lion and Rene.
Come on. Come on. Ryan. Come on. Hi, everyone back home.
Rope, you know Ståle very well.
Yeah.
He seems like the pressure never affects him. Is it true?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. He's always super chill. 77.
Said he needed above 73, got to 77. He is chilling. Gets to watch these next two runs with peace in his heart. How about the choices that he made there? But now we got Chris Corning on the outside looking in, and he talked about what that transition section meant to him.
I think that the transition feature is really going to split the pack up. It's going to show the guys that have practiced them and even had the opportunity to practice on them. I think the last time I hit one was a summer ago. So to put it in a contest that we have to hit is kind of nice, and it's really going to split the pack and show kind of the men from the boys.
Louis, you get the chance to talk to Corning?
I did get a chance to talk to him. He said, it's difficult with the lighting, but he said this semifinal is full of hammers and you can't put down a safety run. But Chris Corning's a veteran in the contest scene. He does more contests than anybody I know, and it's coming to show right here, right into the last one. Backside. Coming up a little bit short. It looked like the ground kind of snuck up on him right there. I am surprised. That is unfortunate. I was really looking forward to seeing him in the finals.
We're just as surprised as you are. It looked like perhaps came in with just a hair under speed, or maybe didn't get the pop. But this top half of the course, he did it all.
He did everything he needed to do in 5/6 of the course. Unfortunately, on that last jump, not quite enough air time to get the full triple cork 1440 around. But there's no doubt in my mind that if he had put down that last jump, he's in the top 10, maybe the top 5.
Yeah.
That was an incredible run.
That triple cork is something he's so consistent with.
That's the one thing I wouldn't think he would fall on.
No.
Oddly enough.
But Ropa, you were talking about this earlier, that some of those tricks that maybe you think you're really comfortable with, they'll get you.
Especially when the light changes.
And because you're not that focused on them. I got injured on the 50-50 yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's you always, when you ride, you need to be on point and think about what you're doing.
Well, you see the disappointment in Chris Corning's face, and you wonder, well, for someone like Mark McMorris, who's so accomplished, does it really mean that much to him, the three-peat? Let's ask him.
I've won it twice before, and then I won it twice again, but I've never got a three-peat, so if I could win this year and get 3 in a row, that would be legendary, and I'd be very happy. Feel really confident and strong, but have to get through qualifications first and then take on Friday, hopefully.
All right, well, we know what he wants. Now he's just got to get there.
And he can.
Consistently.
I'm nervous.
We're nervous, but last runs are what he's always specialized in.
Last year's win.
I mean, how many times has Mark McMorris been standing up there all alone? Last rider to drop. This is going to be backside triple 14. There it is. He does it again. Time and again. He fails to disappoint every time.
There's ability to ride a snowboard, and then there's mental ability.
Yeah.
And he's got something else.
Well, when you think of individual sports and mental strength, Kelly Slater comes to mind. There's the kind of joke in the surfing world that Slater can will a wave. Mark can will a win. He always finds a way to stay in the game until the very last second. And that's what makes this kid so incredibly great. There's that front board, 450 out.
And I like that he took this. He took it piece by piece, jump by jump, feature by feature. He's not even thinking about the finals. He's like, I got to get through qualifiers first or semifinals.
There was that one little moment in that front seven where he kind of opened up, and I was like, oh no. But he held it together. And then honestly, I didn't want to give him the announcer's curse, but I knew he was going to land that backside triple 14. Because when it starts linking for Mark McMorris, he just becomes this juggernaut force.
Yes.
And he builds momentum individually, feature by feature throughout a run. So now the question is, where is he going to fall in the top 10? Because I'm pretty sure he's in. We will see.
Solid tech score, even with that little 4.8.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he is in there. McMorris.
He does what he had to do, and that's enough.
Exactly.
He got in. He had a bobble.
Yep.
He still got the score he needed. He kept on his feet. And, wow, look at this final. You've got the veterans and the experienced guys like McMorris and then some of those younger riders.
And Yuki Kodono, unfortunately, the victim of Mark McMorris and his basically straight-up Jedi-like ability. Red Gerard, an absolute killer. How about Hiroki Kunitake? Hi, world, you need to know who I am.
and Ruki Tobita.
Yeah.
Incredible days.
And Brock Brouch. So stoked for that kid.
We got ourselves a really, really nice final lineup. God, that was about as fun as 64 runs of snowboarding could have been asked for. And we will check in right now with Louis down the bottom with our number one qualifier, the red man, Red Gerard.
Yeah, I get to interview him twice today. I'm feeling pretty good over here. Red qualified first. You did it in the flat light. How do you feel going into finals, being the number one qualifier and getting to drop last?
I'm just psyched I made it to finals, honestly. I always just say I just want to land a run, and then after that it's up to everyone else. So I'm psyched to just be in finals, and especially with such a heavy crew and all my buddies.
Do you feel you have an advantage being the last person to drop, being the last person to get a say for the results?
No, honestly, that just feels like more pressure to me, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. I'm psyched.
There we go. Congratulations, man. Well-deserved. First place, our number one qualifier, Red Gerard.
Thank you, Louis. Great job all day. Congratulations to Red, but it's a whole new game, of course, in the final. We knew that that there would be some surprises. It's always the case here. But who were the standouts for you?
Well, I'm going to go with Lion Farrell. Someone like Lion Farrell and Luke Winkelman getting in, and even Brock Crouch to come back to this contest and finish top 10. I mean, that's very impressive. So some of those younger names that this is the season they're starting to make themselves known.
I think so too. Yeah, I think you're going to see a changing of the guard here in the very near future with a lot of those names. I'm going to take the two young Japanese kids, Hiroki Kunitake and Ruki Tobita. I'm unfamiliar with them. Now I'm not.
Yeah.
Those kids are the real deal, second and third place qualifiers.
You asked who he was, and he was like, here, I'll show you. We'll take a look at 3 runs
Yeah, this is Hiroki Kunitake. I think he was right at this point during the broadcast. I was like, I'm really interested to see what this kid.
Oh, hello, new fella.
And he just came out with a bang. This was actually his second run, which scored an 80.7. But this kid, he's got everything. I mean, he's got the flare tricks.
Yeah.
He's got the technical tricks. He's got the big spins, and he's got a lot of style. I think this is the first you've heard of this kid, but that's the end of that. I think you're gonna know exactly who this kid is moving forward, especially after finals, because the pressure doesn't seem to get to him. He had an absolutely incredible day. On this hit right here, front side 12 to end his run. And
That
look at that
is good
reaction.
snowboarding.
Sends chills up your spine when you see that. The kid is just emitting stoke.
Yeah, and a lot of style. And then, of course,
Ruki Tobita. Yeah, finished in second place today. Absolutely insane. I wonder what Ruki and Hiroki were talking about up there. Like, can you believe this is happening? Like, we're second and third place right now.
No, I feel like they just are like, what? This is how we ride.
Yeah.
This is natural to us. This is our run. And you want to score us high? Well, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like that's how they are automatically.
I feel they still have something in their pockets for finals.
Yeah, I think so too.
Japanese, they always like to hide the things, like Yuki, the back-to-back 16s, and there's for sure something special coming up for finals.
Absolutely. Yeah, Japan is one of the main hotbeds of competitive snowboarding right now. There are some unbelievably talented young kids.
I feel like we're in a place where the changing of the guard is like every 2 years as opposed to like every 7. And then there was just Red, who just started to show now that like there is this veteran sense mentally that he has to go with his natural freakish ability.
Well, for the longest time, you know, Red was kind of the token little guy. He was the forerunner at the Open. He was about 3 feet, 6 inches tall. And it was like, wow, look at that little kid who rips. Now you're like, look at that young man who is a gold medalist, who is a US Open finalist year after year. And it's not just his personality off-hill, but his riding has matured. And he's figured it out. He's figured something out.
And I think this course really suits him, too.
Yeah.
Like that transition feature, just the creativity that he has on top. I mean, this course really does suit someone like Red Gerard.
Well, you know, and he's gone from being an up-and-comer to an established pro to now he's a statesman of snowboarding. He's an ambassador after that gold medal win.
There you see our qualifiers. Man, what a battle that was.
That was kind of stressful.
Brock Crouch rounding it out with Sven Thorgan.
Yeah, and then some of the names that didn't make it. Sebe DeBuck, Yuki Kadono, Judd Henkes.
Fridge was in there.
Fridge was in there. Chris Corning in 22nd.
And to your point, Rupe, just being in that top 32 means everything. Like, so many of those guys easily could have made the cut.
Yeah, and like, I don't think if the other riders really think about it, like, yeah, get an invite, but hey, you're top 32 best snowboarder in the world.
Yeah.
Period.
Like,
exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
Everything after that is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
It's a pretty beautiful thing. Of course, we can't forget about the Burton bonus hit that has been going on simultaneously, that last hit counting for a little side pot. We'll take a look at some of the highlights.
I mean,
lawn dart.
The lawn dart. Shout out to Ben Hinckley right there.
Ben Hinckley, may he rest in peace.
There's that switch backside 5 right there. Frontside 3. Indy to nose.
That was my favorite so far.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible.
Ooh.
And there you go. Just a backside triple 1440.
Then there's that. I still like the double grab 3. I'm sure that, well, fans at home actually participate in the voting, so don't be bashful. Let us know what you're thinking for the bonus hit for both the men and the women's. 96 runs of snowboarding.
Yeah.
Ooh. Congratulations, guys.
Well done.
Killed it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You did it incredible.
It was really, really nice to have you, man. really thank you. Thanks for deciding to stay for the second runs. And we're going to go and let our mouths take a break.
Well, and if that's any indication of what we're going to see in finals, then Friday can't come soon enough. I mean, that was a heated battle in the men's and the women's field. I mean, there were surprises with Jamie Anderson, unfortunately, failing to make finals in the women's. Then you had Chris Corning not putting a run down to make it up into the finals for the men.
And on a trick that he's very consistent with. That's the surprise for me.
That was a shocker.
Yeah.
It was a shocker.
So, but you look at the names that are in there, and I think it's those guys that have put the work in, and now it's their time to shine. They're hitting that peak, and that's what the U.S. Open's all about.
Exactly. I really like it's a lot of different countries.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thing to see, like U.S., Norway, Sweden, Canada, Japan. It's a big, like, white field.
I like it.
The beautiful global family of snowboarding represented very well in 2019. And if you love what you saw today, folks, well, we got plenty more for you where that came from. Red Bull TV, of course, the perfect place for you. Download the app for free and discover plenty of exciting films and shows. You can log in to save your favorite content, and you can watch it offline in your spare time or while traveling like I do. So download the app and be a part of the Red Bull experience. We got the women's and men's semifinal for halfpipe tomorrow. We're going to do this whole thing again. Reset. Snowboarding tomorrow is going to be just going to be more of this. More like, oh, wow. Bunch of new humans.
We saw a couple of the young Japanese riders today make a statement in the slopestyle. There's a couple of young Japanese riders in the halfpipe that have been making a statement this season. So I look for them in both the men's and the women's. We've got Chloe Kim starting at 10 a.m. doing the semifinals, so that's going to be exciting. I talked to Kelly Clark today. Actually, when I was taking the break, had a couple runs with her. She's here. She was actually riding the halfpipe. She's not competing, but she's been up there. And she was saying some of the women are even asking her, advice on the transitions and speed. And she's like, oh, this is kind of a cool little role for me. But yeah, so it's going to, it's not a U.S. Open without Kelly Clark, but women's halfpipe semifinals tomorrow at 10.
Yeah, well, luckily we're going to have Kelly Clark joining us in the rope position tomorrow. Thanks again, man, for stopping by. Hopefully we can get you during finals if you're feeling willing and able. And you folks at home watching around the world from wherever you're watching, thank you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, for the semifinal women's in the halfpipe to start things off. We will do this entire dance again. In the meantime, between now and then, enjoy some highlights from semifinals today, and we will see you tomorrow.